How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pate. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in one convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
Hi there, and welcome to Raising Me. I'm Adrienne Stein. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, thank you to our sponsor of Sweetser as well. They are doing so much good in helping people navigate mental health challenges here in Maine. Today, we're talking about something that really affects all of us with school-aged and active kids, especially, if you're working outside of the home as well. And that is what the heck to make for dinner, or have on hand for a quick breakfast, or how to make a school lunch that the kids will actually eat. Maybe it's also healthy, maybe. Have snacks and easy meals on hand that your teen won't complain about. Okay, I've heard a few complaints in my day. It is the school year shuffle right now, whether it's getting out of the house in the morning or trying to manage the after-school practices, games, lessons, whatever it might be, all while putting healthy meals on the table. Feeding a family during the school year, it can feel like a full-time job. And I also can't tell you how many times I've already stood this school year in front of the pantry like, okay, so we need a quick dinner. What are we going to have? And I must say I've gotten pretty creative on some of the evenings. Well, here's what I have learned after talking with today's expert. It really doesn't have to be so stressful. We're joined by dietitian Kara Kilmartin. She works with Hannaford, which is a grocery chain here in northern New England if you're listening from outside the area. And I gotta tell you, she is so much fun. And she shares some easy and very realistic advice on keeping kids fueled up in a healthy way. Also, parents sane, even when life gets so busy, whether you're battling picky eaters or just simply trying to save some time. Check it out. Kara, I am so glad you are here today. We have so much to talk about.
Yes, we do.
I know you're a mom. We're going to get to the dietitian part very soon, but you are also a mom of 2 young kids.
Yes.
So when we're talking about the busy school year and the chaos of life, just walk us through, what is a typical morning like in your house, or a dinner time like in your house this time of year?
Well, I want to thank you so much for having me. And you already said the word chaos.
Yeah.
I think we would be lying if all of us, we like to think that everything is so perfect and goes according to plan, but chaos feels like the mornings and feels like the evenings.
And even for you as a dietitian, like your mealtime gets a little chaotic.
It does.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
really does.
Okay,
so
good.
we can all paint the picture, right? First thing in the morning, we're not only trying to feed kids before they get out the door, we're trying to pack lunch and pack snack. And I know for me, I almost feel like there's a pressure to make my kids' lunches look absolutely perfect.
Well, haven't you seen the Instagrams and the
course.
TikToks? I'm like, boy, I am failing miserably.
Not at
because I
all.
don't cut the fruit into shapes or anything.
We're just lucky that we have fruit in there, right?
Throw an apple in and we call it good.
Well, and you know what? And that's okay.
Yeah.
So things don't need to be perfect. They don't need to go according to plan. They just need to have some balance, but that looks different for every person. So our mornings consist of, my kids have a protein. They have some fruit. They have some carbohydrates in there to give them energy. And you try to do the same thing for lunch, but I would be lying to say if I didn't put the tiny chocolate and the little bag of gummies, because life is all about balance too.
Totally. And I want to get to all of that, including the importance of balance. How did you become a registered dietitian? Like, what led you to really work with health, nutrition, families in that way?
It's one of my favorite questions. I feel very fortunate that I was probably about 14, 15 when I knew I wanted to be a registered dietitian. I wasn't exactly sure what field or avenue to get into, but for me, I struggled with body image. I struggled with weight my entire childhood, teenage, heck, even into adulthood. And so when I learned the power of nutrition and exercise and that overall healthy eating and how it can make us feel, I knew I wanted to go into a career where I could help others do the same thing.
And healthy eating, let's talk about that, because sometimes that feels like a pressure point.
Absolutely.
For families, because what exactly does that mean? Are we doing enough? Are we doing too much? Are we finding that balance? So like when it comes to healthy eating, how do you talk to families about that makes it feel realistic?
Yes. And it looks different for every family and every person. And health means something different to every person as well. So when we talk about kind of healthy eating, it's really looking at, are we incorporating a balance of the food groups? The first thing that comes to my mind is, are there fruits and vegetables? Is there color? And again, it's okay to have fruit cups that are in 100% juice. It's okay to use frozen vegetables. It's even okay to use canned as well. Incorporating some sort of color, getting some sort of protein, right, to help with muscle building, to help with strength, and then carbohydrates. I feel like that is a very word that people think of, carbs are scary, but carbs give energy, especially to kids. How energetic are kids, right? We always say, gosh, I wish I had half as much energy. They need those carbohydrates. And so when you think about, do I have the basics of all of that? Well, then it can look different to every person. It can mean chicken or fish, but it can also sometimes mean it's okay to have the hot dog in there too. But let's slice the cucumbers up, maybe instead of just potato chips, or let's add in some of that fresh fruit from the farm stand as well.
Yeah. I think too, like carbohydrates, sort of drilling down on that a little bit, that's an easy one in my house.
Very easy.
You know what I mean? Like it's the, how do you get beyond the carbohydrates? Like I would say 2 of my 3 kids are on the more selective side when it comes to eating. Well, because, I think there's a stigma around saying picky eaters.
Oh, I can't stand the word
what
picky.
I mean?
Yes.
And I get it. Like, but, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that because I do need some pro tips on that. But, it is trying to find in that under that healthy umbrella, the things beyond the carbs and introducing those in a more robust way.
I love it. Beyond the carbs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because mac and cheese is easy, and pizza and sandwiches.
So easy. And I can't even tell you how many times we have pizza on any given week.
I love
during
pizza,
the school year.
but it's so good. And pizza, there's one, right? Doesn't have to be. So how do we get the green things on the plate? One thing I love is getting kids helping in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So my youngest is 4. And so I recently just found her a great set of kid-friendly knives. Oh. So they're sharp, but they're like wooden and plastic. So they have a much more safety feature. We go down to our local farm stand because it's the perfect, as we're transitioning into the colder months, it's tricky, but this is the perfect time. She's so proud to pick the produce. She's so proud to get her hands dirty in the garden. And then she loves that she has the new knife to cut it. And because she's helping, she's more inclined to want to try it. So I've always said, let's just try it. Let them be a part of it from the grocery store, from the farm stand to the table to their plate. And they often realize, this is pretty, this is fun, and it tastes good too.
Does that work that eventually will they get there? Like if you keep kind of push we'll just try it. Everybody has to take a bite of everything that's cooked tonight. Like I find that's a delicate balance. It's
a very delicate balance.
Because you run into sort of that butting heads, especially as they get older. You do. So any advice on that part?
Pressure them.
Don't pressure.
So for example, it's mirroring what we're doing, and they're often going to pick up on that too. So if I'm not eating a lot of vegetables, why would my kids think it's important to eat them? So for example, it's squash season. So we prepared this beautiful delicata squash. I could eat delicata squash till it's coming out of my ears. My kids, I know it's not their thing. So my husband and I are eating it. And I just looked at them and said, do you want to try a bite? And they were hesitant, but they didn't flat out say no. If they had said flat out no, or it was on their plate, I knew it would have freaked them.
Do you put it on their plate even though
not always?
They're going to
Nope,
eat it?
I don't. So if I know it's something I'm going to give them an alternative. So I know they love raw carrots. So it was actually raw carrots and raspberries were on their plate, and the delicata squash and the salad were on ours. And we're the family. I'm Italian, so we share all the things. Yeah. So then it was like, oh, what is that? Can I try it? And then when they did, then I might put it on their plate. But I don't want to pressure them because then they're going to start to have that negative relationship. And I don't want them to have that either.
Such a good point. And it is a fine line.
Very fine.
I think one thing, I've mentioned it before many times, but we have 3 kids in my household, 17, 13, and now 7. And I'm telling you, during the school year, it is a blur. If we can all be sitting around a table, like for dinner, for instance, at any one time, Monday through Friday, it's like really a gift, right? Because between practices and of school events, especially, you know, toward the beginning of the school year when there are so many things. So how can we, you know, keep mealtime in that healthy range while still being realistic that often we are throwing things together?
Absolutely. So that's where I think about planning ahead. So I feel like, and you've got, like you said, children at the age that are so busy, sports and extracurriculars are huge. Mine are 8 and 4, so we're just sticking our toe in. But recently we discovered like we have soccer now until 5 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, oh, what do we do? So
wait till you have soccer until 7 p.m.
I can't
and then you're
imagine.
like, okay,
when
great.
did dinner happen, right?
Yeah.
So it's thinking about the nights you know, Adrienne, that you're super busy. Do not expect yourself to make that from scratch meal. It's not realistic. Set yourself up for success. Those are the nights that if you're like, you know what, I want to cook from home but don't have the time, get that rotisserie chicken, right?
For sure.
That's already cooked, still has good nutritional value. Buy that bagged salad that all you need to do is mix together. Buy the grains that are in a pouch that you can just microwave. And at the end of the day,
how about the frozen pizza?
You know, I was actually going to say at the end of the day, if you need to get a pizza frozen or ready to go, that's where you could just say, you know what? I've got my kind of my carbs. I've got some protein. Let's just throw that bag of salad. Let's throw some cut up fruit. Maybe you go and get the snack pals that are already cut up and ready to go. Maybe you grab the mandarin orange cups that we always keep in the pantry, and you just take what you can do and you add some fruits and vegetables to it. And at the end of the day, if you're sitting around the table and you're able to just talk about your day, even for 15 minutes, that's as much of a blessing as the food itself.
Well, and then it sort of alleviates the pressure just as a parent to be, you know, spending all that time prepping and the cooking or the cleaning, I should say, that comes afterwards when you do some of this, because then that frees up your diet. So, you know, part of it is kind of giving yourself a little grace.
It is giving yourself grace.
And realizing that not every meal is going to be perfect.
It's not. And as moms, we're stretched, whether we're working full time or we're home with the kids full time, which is a full-time job, and then sports, and we want to spend that quality time. Those nights you don't have the time to prep, don't set yourself up to it. Just spend the time with your family as well. Try to get in and use those time saver shortcut kind of little tips and tricks. And know that if you're eating a pizza and you've thrown some cucumbers and raspberries for the third time
for the week,
it's really, it's okay. You're doing a great job.
You know, it's a side note, but like I think about some of the things that I ate as a kid, you know, and my husband and I have talked about that. Like they're like the SpaghettiOs in the can, right?
Yes.
And how about the ravioli?
Or how about the ramen noodles?
The ramen noodles.
Which my 8-year-old will tell you is his favorite food. It's the proudest dietitian mom moment when he says that.
Ramen noodles. Right. Noodles. So like, you know, and we somehow survived.
We did.
So there is that. I want to talk too about mornings, because I think this is a place that it's very easy to go straight to carbs. You get a bowl of cereal, you grab a breakfast bar or something like that. So how do we sort of expand our horizons, but still in that healthy and quick?
Yes.
Quick being the key.
So
this episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
A lot of times eggs, we think of them as taking a lot of time. Eggs often can be very quick. My personal go-to breakfast is frying an egg, throwing it on an English muffin with a slice of cheese, and running out the door.
Ooh, that sounds
Frying
good.
an egg doesn't take much more time than making a bowl of cereal, especially if you get the cute little fry pans that you can just fry one egg in. So sometimes making a quick egg it seems like it takes more time than it really does. But other great protein sources, because like you said, carbs are easy for
easy.
breakfast.
The sugar, the cereals, whatever.
Yogurt's great.
Okay.
So whether we're doing like a plain Greek or a lower sugar, you can add some fruit in it. Nuts, absolutely. Frozen blueberries.
Primo.
Full of nutritional value. Microwave them for 15 seconds just to thaw them. Throw some yogurt on top. Throw even some mini chocolate chips are okay too.
That's great.
Yeah, my 4-year-old loves cottage cheese. I am not going to eat.
How did you do that? Mine would not touch it with a 10-foot pole.
So the 8-year-old will eat it, but not for breakfast. The 4-year-old just exposure.
Great.
She loves it. There is just as much cottage cheese in a half a cup as there is in 2 eggs. So half a cup of cottage cheese, 14 grams of protein, tons of it. So if they do have that toast, there's the protein to kind of balance it out. The other things I really like too, frozen waffles aren't bad. You can throw some all natural peanut butter on them. Okay. Get some energy.
Instead of going syrup.
And then it becomes a finger food. So we all know sometimes we're making the breakfast and then it's quick, get in the car or walk to the bus stop and you need to kind of eat it on the go. So sometimes it's grab the frozen waffle with peanut butter, eat it on the door, eat it out the door as you're going out the door. And there you go too.
Okay, so we're going to talk about lunches now because this is the bane of my existence sometimes during the school year. This is so tricky. I can't tell you how many lunch boxes I've opened at the end of the day or even the next morning sometimes. And the lunch that I packed yesterday or that day, it's still there. Like, what did you eat?
And do you look at it and just go between the dollar signs that I see sitting in that lunch box and the exactly that, what did you survive on today? Yes. So I think it's the bane of every mom's existence.
Well, help, please.
And you're right. Like, there's nothing worse than finding that mushed sandwich that you forgot to take out because you really hoped your child ate it that day before. So a couple of things. So, we also know we have to take into consideration food allergies.
For sure.
So a lot of schools, you can't bring nuts or tree nuts. So that can be tricky if your kid's like a peanut butter lover.
And that's just an easy go-to for a lot of parents.
So if you're able to bring in nuts, or even if you could do the sun butter or the almond butter, depending on what the allergy you can't bring in is, we sometimes think peanut butter and jelly. We also survived on that as kids too. It's a classic.
And the sugary, really junky,
correct
peanut butter and jelly.
We can come into this this century a little bit with the all natural peanut butters.
Exactly.
You're not getting the shortening. You're not getting the sugar in it that you get with like a already solidified Jif or Skippy peanut butter. So we can do some all natural. You can do a whole wheat bread, and you can even if you just got regular Hannaford brand jelly, it doesn't need to be the low sugar fancy because that also can be expensive in a time when groceries can be really expensive too.
I will say I opened this morning. So Jack, my youngest, he likes to have a bagel and cream cheese sometimes because he can't do peanut butter.
Okay.
Or you have to go to sit at another table. Kind of thing. The whole thing. The whole freaking thing was it. Like, I had one of these moments this morning. That's why I'm asking that. And here's the thing. I will say, Kara, I often will say, well, what sounds good? What do other kids have that when they're eating, like, that looks good to you?
Yes.
And I still don't really get a great list of things. So it's a lot of just kind of trial and error.
It is. Now, let me
ask,
does he like school lunch? Have you ever tried school lunch?
We've tried some school lunches. Okay. We're still in when it's pizza day. Mac and cheese
Thursday.
day.
Yep.
Okay, it's Friday at our school. Mac and cheese day, and then maybe a fish sticks.
Really?
He would do a fish sticks because he really likes it has to be breaded. Like we're not eating like a salmon.
Hey, you can do a lot with bread. Hey, talk about for dinner options. Yeah. Those breaded frozen fish, air fry them, easy to go.
Yeah.
So the other option, I like that you said, ask them what they want, because my 4-year-old just recently reported that she likes the concept of a Lunchable. So sometimes we'll pack.
Same. There's some, one of the kids had a pizza Lunchable. Yes. And I was like, what is that? Because it was like, remember, it was like ham, cheese, and Ritz
they make pizza.
Cracker.
They may come a long way. So first, at the end of the day, if you did decide to do, I remember as a kid that I was allowed to do Lunchables for field trips and first day of school. Mm-hmm. But again, I would be lying if I said my kids don't love Lunchables and I put the fruits and veggies to go with it. But you can mirror the same thing. So for my daughter, I'll put in some crackers we'll cut up some cheddar cheese. I'll be able to pick the deli meat so it's not quite that slimy little round deli meat
like,
that
what,
we get in there.
what actually is
What
this?
is this?
Yeah.
We know what we're putting in. Then she can help too. So she can put whatever she wants in there. So asking them, but also knowing school lunches give more exposure and variety than I guess I really thought. Because you're right, I'm thinking back to my school lunch was not my favorite thing growing up. But that's how my 8-year-old has expanded his palate, because he would come home and he's like, there's a salad bar and I love black olives.
Oh.
And I tried a pulled pork sandwich, and just getting him, even if it's not the most nutritious, it's exposing him to different foods than he may have never tried before.
Well, I mean, and part of my worry is like, well, but what if he gets it, doesn't eat it? But here's the reality. He didn't eat his lunch yesterday.
He didn't, and they won't starve.
Right.
That's I think about feedback from my parents, they won't starve. They'll be okay, because you think about their snack time and you know that they're probably swapping snacks with friends and doing other things. But school lunch also, I know for us, they have to choose a fruit or choose a vegetable. So when because of course I ask, how was your day and what did you eat for lunch? Kind of get the play-by-play, but I've learned like the salad or the pears, or I had berries. There's a lot more nutritional value. So sometimes take the opportunity. It's less stress for you as a parent if you don't have to pack the lunch.
Oh, for sure.
Children get to experience a little bit more. But for those kids that really want a home lunch, ask them what they want. And sometimes remembering too, the portions don't need to be huge, because oftentimes I know I'll pack a full sandwich and then half comes back. Kids, depending on their age, a half a sandwich is enough too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I think too, when when families think about healthy eating, they think, well, it's more expensive to eat healthy. So what are some, maybe some easy go-to, reasonably priced, healthy options in any day part, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
So one of my favorite things to do is shopping from the flyer. So whether you're using Hannaford or whatever grocery store you use, things go on sale, and we all know they're considerably, when they're on the flyer, they're considerably less expensive. So I know from my family, I tell them the fruit rotates every week. So my children love berries. 9 times out of 10, a grocery store is going to have berries on sale. So my daughter wanted strawberries, but they were like $5.99 for a package, but raspberries were 2 for $4. So we got raspberries, and that's okay. So knowing it's okay to vary it up. And if you use the flyer, then you're also getting a variety. So this week, zucchini may be on sale. Next week, it may be eggplant. You're not only getting a variety to try different foods and different nutritional value, but you're getting a better deal for your budget as well. So knowing that you can be flexible, but knowing, that you can also do things that are a little bit more shortcut, and it's okay too. You may, like you said, our budget it's challenging, but use what's on sale, use what we have in our pantry, and know that if you need to use kind of like the already cooked rotisserie chicken, maybe it'll be a little bit more pricey, but it's still going to be cheaper than takeout or fast food or going out to dinner too.
And what about frozen vegetables?
Oh my
and
gosh.
Fruits? I mean, there's a lot more reasonable often.
And consistently priced.
What about the nutrition when it comes to the frozen variety of, say, peas, green beans versus the fresh?
That's a great question. Actually, oftentimes the nutritional value could be better, because what they do when they freeze something is it gets frozen very quickly after it's picked. So if you think about, peppers and onions, they're being cut, they're being froze really quickly after they're harvested. So the nutritional value is being preserved, where sometimes with fresh, we have no idea how long it's been sitting out for. So in my house, those frozen peppers and onions that you get in a bag, they're $1.99. I can't stand cutting onions, but now I have the opportunity to have some vegetables that are literally as easy as opening a bag, putting them in the fry pan, putting them in a casserole, and they're ready to go. They're cost effective. The nutritional value is sometimes better. And why not? You don't have to worry about them going bad in your refrigerator either.
If families could really focus on 3 small actionable steps during the busy school year to make sure that they're getting great nutrition, reasonable price, and making it easy for them, what would those be?
So I would first say set yourself up for success. plan to do the more prep work on the nights you know you have the time, so that if you're doing it, say, on the weekend, you can set yourself up for success during the week. I would also say too, no, like you said, give yourself grace, patience. It's okay to do the pizza, a couple of times a week. It's okay to get the meals that don't require much prep work. And also make sure to include fruits and vegetables, whether it's fresh, frozen, canned. 9 out of 10 Americans do not get enough fruits and vegetables. And so I really think trying to make it a priority to include more of those, you're going to expose your children to more variety, and you're going to also get more nutritional value by getting in more fruits and vegetables.
9 out of 10?
9 out of 10.
Don't get enough fruits and vegetables.
Correct.
At every age?
And into adults too.
Wow.
And when you think about the nutritional value that fruits and vegetables, so I know that as a dietitian, I think I preach more about fruits and vegetables than anything else, but it's because they're full of vitamins and minerals. They have a lot of times really good complex carbs. They're loaded with fiber, which can help with fullness. It can help with lipids. It can help with weight. I can't speak enough goodness.
Could go on and
I could go
on.
on and
Yeah.
on. So really thinking about if 9 out of 10 Americans, adult and children, aren't getting enough fruits and vegetables, that would be a huge focus that I would say to try to encourage more in every meal when possible.
Excellent. Kara, thank you so much for your expertise. I do want to mention too, we'll have more resources on our website, which is wgme.com/raisingme. Kara, such a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Adrienne. Pleasure to be here.
A big thank you to Kara for sharing so many helpful tips. I mean, I think one of the takeaways really just simply is this, and it is very simple. Healthy meals for the family do not have to be overly complicated. Even just a few small changes can make a big difference, whether it's saving time, money, or just trying to save mealtime in general. Thank you so much for listening to Raising Me. I'm Adrienne Stein. This episode is edited by Megan Littlefield and produced with help from Carissa Paulson. Thank you so much to our sponsor of Sweetser Mental Health and to you for listening. Please follow Raising Me wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, we do appreciate it if you give us a follow and a like. Helps other people find the podcast as well. Wherever you are, I hope you learn something new and get to take a little time for you.